Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up to our Ribbon presentation. We have Dominique Webb from Ribbon to explain a little bit of the ins and outs of Ribbon and how you can help it to win offers in this crazy market right now. So with that, again, this is Lee with Rapid Mortgage. Thank you so much for coming. I know some of our loan officers invited you today, and we really appreciate you being on. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dominique.
Thank you. Thank you. So once again, my name is Dominique and I'm here with Ribbon Manager, who you would have most of your contact with, myself and our transactions team. I've been, just a little bit about myself, I've been here with Ribbon since November of 2020. I became an account manager February 2021. So I've been doing it a little bit over a year. I actually came to Ribbon because my brother and sister-in-law were looking for a home. Back in about August of 2020, they started their journey. And I'm the Jackie of all trades of my family. So everybody comes to me for everything. So they enlisted my help in helping them find a home. And it was really tough. They're FHA buyers. And the FHA, FHA in this market are considered bottom of the totem pole. So they were really having a hard time. I did some research, found out that a friend of mine worked for Ribbon. She explained the program to me. And funny enough, we were out to drinks and my brother and sister-in-law's real estate agent called me. And while I was out, I explained the program to her and she got it. From then, I just was like, Ribbon really has a mission of making home ownership achievable. And that was something that I was really excited about. I was happy I was able to get my brother and sister-in-law, my niece and my nephews, their first home. And it really resonated with me. And that's what made me become a part of Ribbon. So before I even became a part of Ribbon, I sold their agent on Ribbon. And it's really because I believed in the mission and I believed in the process. So just a little bit about Ribbon. Ribbon really is opening the doors to home ownership. In this market, there's a lot of iBuyers, investors coming in from, Texas, from California, New York, the North. They're coming in down to the South to buy homes because they're getting a lot of homes for less amount than they would in those places. So Ribbon is here to help your buyers become a cash buyer to be able to compete in this market. So what you'll learn today is how Ribbon Cash can empower your buyers, what is the Ribbon Cash program in the process, and how to get started. So right now, buyers are facing high buyer demand, low inventory, multiple competitive offers, having to sell before they buy, and competing with investors and iBuyers. And what is Ribbon here to do? Ribbon is here to help your buyers compete in the market. They're here to turn your buyer's pre-approval into cash. This allows your clients to present an offer with cash, remove contingencies such as finance contingencies, home sale contingencies, and appraisal contingencies. Ribbon guarantees the closing for your buyer and provides a guaranteed commission for you as the agent. We are closing more deals. A lot of people are starting to utilize Ribbon. And just last month, we had over 700 offer accepts in the month of March alone. So we're definitely utilizing the Ribbon Cash program. Buyers are using it and finding success. So what buyers do we help? We help first-time home buyers, buyers in multiple offer situations, buyers who have to close fast, buyers who need to sell first, buyers who are on the lower end of the loan spectrum like FHA and VA buyers, and buyers who may have some financing or home sale delays, which will cause their new home to have some delays. What homes do we help? So we are currently in the buy box from 100,000 sorry, 100,000 to 1 million. The 100,000 range are going to go for condos and townhouses. And then we're all the way up to $1 million. We do need properties to be 4 acres or less. If it's built in 1960, it has to be 1960 plus or fully renovated. Major metropolitan market areas. We do not buy foreclosures, short sales, manufacture or modular or mobile homes. So the price does vary by state based on the part of the program the buyer uses. In the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, the fee is 2% for Ribbon to purchase the home. But if your lender, Rapid Mortgage, is able to close, then it will reduce down to 1%. So how does Ribbon Cash work? So essentially, Ribbon will take your buyer. You would sign up as the agent and enter your buyer. Lee has a dashboard, so you would enter her as your loan officer, and then she can upload a pre-approval. You can upload the pre-approval, or your account manager can upload the pre-approval. So you as the agent, this scenario right here is actually a real life scenario. We just changed names. So the agent's name is Tara and the client's name is David. David is a first-time home buyer who has been looking for 4 months. I know you guys know this all too well. Buyers are getting fatigued. They do not like this process, and it is crazy out there. So the buyer had been looking for 4 months and had been outbidded 3 times and wanted to improve his offer. Short of having to offer his firstborn child, he decided to come to Ribbon and use the cash program. The home that he was looking at, list price was $290. It was located in Raleigh. It had 2.5 acres and it was built in 1997, but it was renovated. This particular property did have multiple offers submitted. So how Tara helped her buyer, David, is Tara has signed up for a Ribbon account. She added David as the buyer, uploaded David's pre-approval. Your pre-approval and the amount that Ribbon is willing to back you will be dependent upon your lender. When you do add your buyer's pre-approval, my best tip is always add the highest amount your buyer is able to provide or able to receive a loan for. The reason being is because we want to be able to set up in all scenarios, whatever house they find, we don't want to have to go by house. And we provide you a proof of funds letter, so you're not using the pre-approval, so you don't have to limit it to that specific house. So once Dave is in the system and we get their buying power, we'll get their pre-approval lifted, we will give them buying power. The next part of the process is to add a home. This is adding the property that they're interested in. You do not have to limit yourself to one. This market is crazy. And as soon as you put in one, it may be gone. You just never know. So you can go ahead and put in multiple properties, and our team will give you a free analysis and come up with the Ribbon valuation of the property. So in this case, the list price was $290. The max Ribbon value was $300,000. And that is based on comps that have sold in the neighborhood within the last 6 months, plus or minus up to 2 miles and plus or minus 20% square footage. We are human. So if you have a CMA prepared and you feel that that valuation should have been higher, you can always count on your account manager. Let them know like, hey, I have some comps. Can we take a look at this? And our team will reevaluate it. If we're able to increase the max Ribbon value, we are more than happy to do so based on your comps, and we will increase it. But in this situation, the max Ribbon value came up to $300,000. You are still writing the offer. You're writing it in your client's name, and you are able to do it through our platform. We make this process as smooth and as easy as can be. All of the state forms are on the website. So you would log into your portal, you'll receive an email confirmation that your buyer is ready to go. You will get the standard state offer. We will include our Ribbon addendum, our proof of funds, the cover letter with your account manager on it, and we will advise what the ribbon fee and deposits will be. This particular home, the buyer is able to offer up to $300,000 because that's where their pre-approval lies. So these are the documents that come with the ribbon offer and go with your standard state form. The ribbon addendum, just to kind of go over a little bit, it explains how ribbon is involved in the transaction. It explains how the buyer is able to waive finance because we actually have the capital to pay for the home. It explains how the appraisal is being waived. Ribbon is going to provide that gap in the event that the appraisal comes low from the lender and there's no chargeback to your buyers. It also explains how ribbon is the cash backup option, that if and only if the lender is unable to close, we will jump in and close. So it explains our transaction fee. And this is our proof of funds. It explains who we are, what kind of capital we have. And then this is a sample cover letter. It just gives you some, facts about ribbon, frequently asked questions and answers, and it provides down at the bottom your account manager's name, number, and a photo. So the process. Once the offer is accepted, David will submit the ribbon fee and the contract deposits. You would go ahead and order your inspection. We will receive the inspection. Ribbon does require a 7-day inspection period. I know it sounds like a lot, but just listen, last month we had 700 deals and they did have 7 days inspection. So what I like to tell my agents is that the 7 days are on the contract. If we're able to get an inspector out there, get the report, and you're able to negotiate repairs, you can waive the remaining amount of time. Right now, the way that the market is, there's a lot of delay in getting an inspector out there. So they may not be able to go out until day 2 or day 3 of the inspection period and get the report back that day. So it gives you some time. That's why we require 7 days. And after the inspection period, after we review the report for any ribbon require repairs, if we have to buy, we're guaranteeing the purchase after the inspection period is over. That means that you as the agent, your commission is guaranteed at that point. And just in case something happens and the lender is unable to close for various reasons, we will buy the home.
Birdman,
We will buy the home and then give your lender time.
this is the one and only.
I think I can.
Yeah.
I think we can mute everyone. There should be a little drop down that allows you to mute everyone. There you go.
I think I got it.
So
Thank you.
let me go back. So once the offer is accepted, once we're past the inspection period, we get to closing date and your lender can actually fund. In this particular transaction, the lender is funding and the ribbon fee is only $3,000. And the other $3,000 that the buyer would have put down will go back to them at closing costs. So it will be a credit to them. Here is another scenario. The agent's name is Bill. The client's name is Robert and Jane. Robert and Jane need to move into a bigger house because their family is growing. They already have a home and like most people cannot qualify for 2 mortgages at once. So they need to buy before they sell because it's a little bit difficult to try to sell your home because we know it's going to sell in this market, but then it's going to be hard to find a home. So they came to Ribbon to be able to look for their new home and then put their home on the market. This particular home list price was $389,500. It's located in Texas, 3 acres, and was built in 2004. So it's all within guidelines. And they were able to secure the home as well. So when you are speaking to your buyers, about Ribbon, introducing Ribbon during your buyer consultation, there's a couple of things that you can do. You can reach out to your account manager and they can walk you through the process and have a conference call with you and speak to your buyer. They can provide you information, our documentation. We have brochures. We have a breakdown of how the program works, which is easy to speak to, and it's understandable for your buyers because they're not in this market, so they don't know our terms. So it's very, it's broken down for them in buyer's language. So back to the scenario with Jane. So Bill works with Ribbon. They add Robert and Jane as a buyer, gets their buying power, adds the property they want to purchase, and gets a valuation. Once they get the valuation, they are writing the offer through the system and they are sending it to their clients to sign and to the listing agents to sign as well. Tip that I tell my agents to do, once you send out the contract, send me a text message and say, sent the contract, here's the listing agent's name, number, email address. And what I do for my agents is I call out to the listing agent, and the majority of us do that. So we'll call out to the listing agent and explain the Ribbon process for you. We're the Ribbon experts, and we do not expect you to be right in your first go round. Eventually you will get it, but we're here to support and assist you. So you would just call on us. We will call the listing agent, explain the process, explain the benefits, and there's no risk to the seller. The seller is guaranteed to get their contract price, they're guaranteed to get the house closed, and you're guaranteed to get your commission. So all of this is guaranteed by Ribbon, and there's no risk to the sellers who accept a Ribbon offer. So in this situation, Ribbon is going to buy the home first. There is a rental period of up to 180 days. There's an asterisk on that because FHA buyers will have to start the process back at 181. So they'll rent a little bit more than 180 days, but they will rent from us. Your lender will be working in the background to make sure that you are able to close when it's time to buy back. And the great thing about this program and our Boost program is that, as I mentioned earlier, Ribbon offers an appraisal protection. If we buy the home for what we listed the max Ribbon value, and then now it's time for your lender to buy the home and they do an appraisal, if that appraisal falls short, Ribbon is going to reduce the price and your lender will be able to close at the reduced price, and Ribbon will eat that loss. It will not come back to the buyer at all. So these are the two programs that we offer. The Ribbon Boost, that is your offer upgrade. This is allowing you to present the offer as cash, giving your lender the time to close in the background. Ribbon will run a parallel closing just in case they're not ready so that we can close. It is beneficial for multiple offer situation, which the majority of the houses are. It upgrades your offer to be more desirable to sellers. Sellers like cash. Cash has always been king and is definitely important in this market. It guarantees the sale for the seller and the listing agent, and it removes the financial contingencies, any home sale contingencies, as well as appraisals. And your lender is going to be working on closing this loan. Whenever you choose the Ribbon Boost, it is imperative that you speak with your lender to find out their actual timeline. We never want to put a buyer in a situation of thinking they're going Ribbon Boost and having to end up in Ribbon Reserve paying more than what they should. The Ribbon Reserve program is the buy before you sell. If you are relocating, if you have a home to sell and cannot qualify for 2 mortgages, and you want to be able to be settled before you sell your home, this is going to be the program for you. This program ranges from 2 to 2.75, but like I said, in the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, it is 2%. So it's really hard to time 2 sales at the same time. Home sale contingent offers, sellers do not want to wait on someone else's home to sell in order for them to sell their home. They want that guarantee. It's getting these buyers off the sideline and giving them the convenience to move and then sell their home. And in this market, it works. You want to be able to sell your home for top dollar, and Ribbon is good on both ends. While you're using the Ribbon Reserve to reserve your new home, you can have a buyer use Ribbon so that you know when it's time for you to sell your home, it's also guaranteed for you. So Ribbon is a double-edged sword. You can use it on both ends. And we do offer other programs, our Ribbon Rescue. If your client is already under contract and at jeopardy of losing the home because of something that popped up in finance last minute, anything that's not like bankruptcy, taxes, and they're still mortgage eligible, we can rescue the deal. If an appraisal has already been done on that home, then of course we're going to go by the appraised amount, but we can look at that in its case-by-case scenario. As I mentioned, the appraisal protection, that's probably the key thing that a lot of buyers use this for, because a lot of buyers just don't have the capital to pay the gap, and Ribbon is here to do that. And we also work with new construction homes as well. So how to use Ribbon. So Ribbon is here to grow your business. It gives you the ultimate problem solver. It unlocks the new business. It generate, you can generate new leads on social media. You can cross promote. I have a great cash program. Reach out to me today. You can promote Ribbon as a program of your own to bring in more business. You can win more listing presentations and earn more buyer consultations as well. This is great on the listing side and on the buying side. It works on both. So I don't have a QR code for me. There's a lot of account managers and we all work well together as a team. So when you sign up on Ribbon, you will get an account manager assigned to you, and that will be your dedicated account manager through all of the transactions. Anytime you go on a contract, anytime you put a buyer in the system, they're your person to go to, and they're going to help you. Even when we transfer you over to our transaction team, we still stick with you. We're CC'd on all emails. So we're in constant know of what's happening with your particular transaction, and you can always reach out to your account manager. So if you have a buyer ready to go, you can check out a couple of the items on our website and put your buyer into the system. And like I say, our assessment is always free to you. Ribbon is always free to the agent. Ribbon is always free to give you a market analysis. We are here to assist. We really want to make sure that this tripod, the lender, the agent, the buyer, the lender, the agent, and Ribbon, we're all working in unison to get the buyer across the finish line. So we want to make sure that the property is in a covered area. We work all over North Carolina and South Carolina. There's not too many places that aren't available, but once you put the address in, it will let you know. We do want to make.
How about Georgia, Florida, Alabama? Because we have some people on from those states too.
Perfect. So we actually work in Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. We're in Northern Florida. We're not in South yet. I will get you a list of counties in Georgia and in Florida. North Carolina, like I said, we're pretty much over the full state in South Carolina, but Georgia, we do have some counties that we're not in. So I'll make sure to give you the list so that you can send that out. So I'll follow up with the email. So what happens, we want to also make sure that the neighborhood that you are looking in does not have any HOA restrictions. If it has any lease and rental restrictions, we want to verify those. They may have a leasing cap, they may not do investors, and we have ways to work around that. If it's like a situation where they do not want to work with investors, we do have a HOA letter that your account manager can provide. And it just basically states how we're not an investor in the typical sense. We are here for the buyer to buy the home. We're just an interim. So we can provide that to you. You will register for a Ribbon account. You will add your buyer, and then you would add excuse me, the pre-approval at property. Adding a buyer pre-approval in a property does not lock your buyer into using Ribbon. Your buyer actually is not locked into using Ribbon until after we pass the due diligence period or inspection period. Your buyer can get under contract with the Ribbon, and in that 7-day time, they can decide to walk away. I've had a buyer who didn't like the way the sun rised in the house, and they decided to walk away, and that was fine. And we moved on to the next house. So their earnest money is protected. Nothing is owed to Ribbon until we pass the inspection period. And there's an asterisk to that as well. If the seller and the buyer agree to terminate the deal together mutually after the inspection period, there's still no fee owed to Ribbon. And that's really unheard of. But that's why we are here. We're here to make this transaction smooth and help it, not harm it, not take from it, not monopolize on it. We're really here to help buyers become homeowners. So we can, there are some caveats to things in that nature. And then, so that was the quick tutorial. And I just want to mention for Alabama, for Georgia, it's 2.4% if Ribbon has to buy. For Alabama and Florida is 2.75% if Ribbon has to buy. But in all scenarios, if the lender ends up closing, it does reduce to 1%. So I'm going to stop sharing and open it up for questions. I know it was a lot. So I'll definitely be able to kind of send out the emails. I'll send out one for North Carolina that breaks down how it works for North Carolina, South Carolina. I'll send an email how it breaks down for Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. So I'll get all of those emails out to Lee so we can make sure you guys understand it.
I actually have a question, Dominique. Can
Okay.
you hear me? Oh, okay. So I actually did a pre-approval a couple weeks ago, and the lease back question came up. Their HOA did not allow lease back or leases under 12 months. So in that situation, the realtor, I assume, would approach you guys with that question, or is that a situation that you wouldn't be able to work with for that property? Or how would you answer that question, I guess?
Yeah, so right now we wouldn't be able to work with the property because we do only allow a 6-month lease. The workaround to that is to try to send the HOA, our HOA letter explaining how Ribbon works, letting them know Ribbon only had to buy because there was a hiccup with the finances, but their lender is intending to close, and see if they will grant an exception. If they do not, then we will not be able to buy that particular property, but anything that has 6 months minimum, we would be able to buy.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, so we'll wrap up if nobody else has anything. I just want to thank Dominique so much for coming. It's actually her day off, and because we scheduled on today, she took her time out of her personal time to be able to help us. So we super appreciate that. Just so you know, we've had Rapid Mortgage, we have a lot of success getting offers accepted this way. And we are able to work through the deals and get the buyers into the house. There's a lot of huge benefits. Their evaluations they do, in my experience, has been right on and actually helped the agents and the buyers come to a good agreement about what to offer. Dominique, oh yeah, one thing, if you do want to go over the Ribbon valuation, what's the process there look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So as long as a buyer has a pre-approval above the max Ribbon value, they can bring additional cash to the table. They will just put it in their deposits. And if the home appraises for the higher amount, all of that still goes back to the buyer and we still only keep 1%. But it is important to note that the buyer can only go above as much as they can receive back in seller concessions, because if we have to buy, those funds stay in escrow until the lender is ready to buy back, does an appraisal. And just in case at that time, the appraisal does come back, then all those funds have to go back to them. So if their seller paid concessions can only be 3%, they only can go over 3%. And then I know it's up to about like 6%. So your account manager can explain further for situations that come up where they want to go over that amount. It's a case-by-case scenario and we'll be able to explain it at that time, but the buyer can bring the additional cash if they have it.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I forgot. That was a side note question I forgot to ask. Again, just wanted to thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming. We'll send this out. I'll get that information from Dominique and we'll send it out for your specific state. And then just let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help and help you get, obviously, your client's offers accepted.
Well, thank you so much, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Dominique.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.